right. Thank you so much for staying with us. So, of you coming to you live from Linden. A friend of mine just sent me a message. You say, no, actually, Standard Bank, even if you are less than 20, they help you. We want more of that. So, of course, a correction there that the Standard Bank will also help those below 20 million turnover as well. So, we want other businesses to join in, and hopefully the other banks will follow suit to do that. But, of course, we need more banks. Because we can't always just be talking about the big four, the big five. And Boitumelo Kgomo is going to come and talk to me about that. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Quite a brave move. You want to start a bank. Right? Out of all the things you could have done, you want to start a bank. Why? Do you think that there is a market for a serious bank that can compete in this very tough market?
Well, JJ, the purpose is not competition. In Midrand, businesses and households have cried that they do not have access to funding in terms of their business projects, home loans, study loans, and the likes. As you know, the mainstream banks, the barrier there is actually very, very high. And our people who are previously disadvantaged have got many, many challenges which the mainstream banks will not overlook. So we don't have a choice. In order to emancipate ourselves from these economic struggles, we have to have our own financial institution. So we knew that the road was going to be tough, but it's actually very involved, and it's a lot of work than we had anticipated. And as you can imagine, a few people actually got off the bus on the way when they realized that the journey is actually longer.
I see. I mean, how many people were at the initial stage of trying to form this?
I think we were about not more than 10, and then the number went to about 25 of the working group. However, you know, all of us, we are working, we have businesses. So
there's nobody focusing on this full time?
It's not a full-time job, and nobody's getting paid for this. So we are volunteering our time. And everything we do out of our own pockets. So we are even using our own resources. Most of the things we do on a zero budget. We ask to make things happen. So it has been quite a difficult road. And some of the working group members, we had to excuse them because they were not able to avail themselves for meetings. They couldn't deliver when it comes to some tasks. And you know, when they don't deliver, now they're delaying the revolution. Which we cannot afford.
Have you given up on institutions of government that can help you to get to that point, number one? Number two, who could in fact achieve exactly what you want to achieve by having a cooperative bank as a starting point? In other words, your IDCs of this world, your CEDAS, your DBSA, etc., NEF, etc. That's, for me, it sounds like you should be able to go to NEF and say, we want to start a bank, help us with seed funding for the road ahead. Is it something that you tried and you failed, or you just thought, let's just give up on those ones, let's pursue our own thing?
It is something that we're still going to do. We have devised a 4-stage plan. And when we get to the third, we are currently now on stage 2. When we get to stage 3, that's when we're going to now start submitting documentation to the Reserve Bank for application. Stage 2, there's about seven activities. We had to do a feasibility study, which was quite a lot of work, and we had to present the feasibility study to the community to tell them to communicate what the community actually are saying. Because we as a bank, we can't decide which services to offer to the community. They must tell us what they want. We've had a couple of community meetings. We had 3 last year. There's a couple of activities that we also did in stage 2. So the only one that we are left with now is the membership drive. We have a target of about between 150 and 300 members that we want to recruit.
In Midrand only, or it's going to be broader than Midrand? The
Midrand region, which is a sub-region A region. Yes, so from Deep Sloot to Ivory Park. So on government entities, we have become part of the cooperative financial institution with forum with the Department of Economic Development. And under that forum, there's South African Reserve Bank, the National Treasury, there's Bank CETA, Insurance CETA, and other associated activities. So we do have support. They have sent us to workshops. Some of our members are still going for training, your normal NCA training, POPI training, and things like that. So we are currently working with government. So on stage 3 that we will embark on once we complete stage 2, I think in about 2 months. I don't know where this corona is going to take us, but taking into consideration what is happening. So let's say about 2-3 months, we're going to go to stage 3, and that's when we're going to now start knocking on the doors and request funding. In Midrand, we are targeting the big corporates, the headquartered, the one that you just spoke about now, Vodacom.
Good luck with those ones.
I hope they will come through. Please don't disappoint us. So expect an email from me, it's coming, and we don't take no for an answer. And then we are trying to approach...
but you bring them as sponsors in a sense of your cause, or as members as well of that bank? I mean, can members be corporates in a cooperative bank?
Yes.
How does that work?
No, we're looking at Vodacom to give us access to their employees. I think they've got over 2,000 employees.
And they're based there?
They're based there in Midrand. They go to work there on a daily basis. And then we have also approached the Development Bank of South Africa.
Yes, also based in Midrand.
Also based in Midrand, so that we can have access to their employees for the recruitment drive. And we're also going to engage other corporates in Midrand. We were supposed to start doing the membership drive this past Saturday, where we plug in at a busy, area in Midrand and sign members up. But because of the pandemic, we're not able to do that. We're going
so just to educate us a bit. So a cooperative bank must have individual members. There'll be like shareholders of the bank, in a sense. So we're going to have 300 shareholders.
Yeah, so let me explain to you what a member is. Because even myself, actually all of us in the working group, when we started, we didn't know what a cooperative bank is. We were just plugged in and deployed. So a member is somebody who plugs in by buying a share at a cooperative bank. And when you buy a share, you're also going to be the client of the bank. So that is the difference between a cooperative bank and a mainstream bank. Because in a mainstream bank, you just become a client, the shareholder. You don't share with regards to profits. In a cooperative bank, you are a member, you are a shareholder. At AGMs, which are held annually, you have a say as to what happens to the profits that the bank have generated.
And have you found that there is an uptake, just an appetite? Because you said that a couple of people fell off the bus already at stage 2.
Look, I think there is definitely an appetite. People are very excited. Generally speaking, our people are talkers, but when it comes to action, then they run. And, there's doers and then there's talkers. And actions speak louder than words. But we have told them that whenever they're ready to come back, they are more than welcome to come back.
How much money do you need to raise before you can register? I know that with normal mainstream banks, you need some 250 million rand to register with the Reserve Bank. You have set yourself a target to register by December, right? What are the requirements from a point of view of a cooperative bank registering, and how are you going to get to that amount?
Look, even you can give us the money, we can register. It's only 100,000 rands, and we need 200 members.
So you assume I have this money? Okay, so...
No, I'm not assuming. I'm just saying, as compared to the...
Is that going to come from members?
It's going to come from members. However, like the question you've asked, when you get to stage 3, we're also going to ask for donations and sponsorship.
To be able to get to that 100,000?
We might to get it quicker. So the quicker we get to that, the better. And then the membership drive is to get to 200. That is the minimum that we need to recruit to go and
in terms of the rules or the target you have set for yourself?
In terms of the rules.
You need 200
members, yes. Also, together with that, we need to also submit financial projections. We need to submit a constitution of the cooperative bank. We already have a draft.
Is that in place? Is the constitution in place?
Yes, we have one that is in place. But when we get to stage 3, it's going to be finalized. The financial projections are in place. When we get to stage 3, are going to be finalized. The business plan.
That must be approved by members before you register, or is it the other way around? You have to register first. And then members must sit in an AGM and say, we like these projections or we are not happy.
The AGM is only going to take place after we have a banking license. So before we have the banking license, it is a working group that is, steering the ship.
Yeah.
However, when we go to community meetings, we do presentations as to where we come from, where we are, and where we are going. So the next community meeting that we're going to have, we will present on the financial projections and the constitution, amongst other things. So the members are kept abreast of what's happening. Also, we do newsletters. We've done one. One is due to be released. It's actually ready. So even on the newsletters, we keep them abreast as to what's happening. We have social media pages as well, where we inform our members as far as the developments are concerned.
Do you fashion it as a black bank or not?
Not. It's a community bank.
So it doesn't matter black or white?
Every cooperative has what we call a common bond. And in my own simple term, I say glue, what glues us together. Because I'm from a banking background. When you're speaking bond, now I'm thinking something else. So what glues us together in Midrand is that you must live in Midrand, work in Midrand, study there, do business there, or worship there. So if you do any of these things, you are qualified to become a member of the cooperative bank. Whether you are black or white, male or female, as long as you are 18 or and upwards. Some have asked, can I buy a share for my child? Yes, you can be a proxy for your child. Stockfells can register as members, churches, businesses, as well as individuals.
And then in terms of, if you want to be a member, are all members equal? In other words, there's no big or small shareholder as such, or can you buy more shares and then you have a bigger say? How will that work?
Democracy. So you can buy as many shares as you want, but when it comes to AGMs and we vote as to what happens with the profits and etc., it's one member,
one person, one vote, regardless of how many shares you have bought.
Because this is a community bank. It really is a community initiative. So your investments, you obviously get a return on your investments.
Yeah. Okay.
And the more you invest, obviously the interest rates will also, be higher.
Yeah. And then in terms of services itself, I want to talk about that after the break. What is the array of services? Will it be loans to members only, or will we be able to loan people outside the Midrand, or how will this all work? And also, is there going to be enough capital outside the 100,000 that we have paid to register to actually be able to do those things, give bonds, loans, you name it, study loans, whatever it is. We're talking to Boitumelo Kgomo. They are forming a bank for themselves. It doesn't look like the other banks and the other institutions that fund, like the DFIs, have done them any good. So they decided to form their own bank. We'll talk more about that after the break. Some good news in these corona times. We're talking about formation of a new bank in Midrand. Have you seen Midrand? Compare Midrand in how it used to be 20 years ago, and you can get lost. If you were only in Midrand 20 years ago, you need a map, or these days a GPS to get around. It's full, it's packed. And I'm not surprised that they think they can actually recruit 200 members in that Midrand area. The other banks, like your VBS bank, I know that's a separate kind of bank, and people I'm sure always ask you, how are you different from VBS? Yes, it's a mutual bank. African Bank, which I don't know whether it's black or white, fish or fowl, but it had to be bailed out by taxpayers' money. Land Bank, which is a little bit of a state bank, especially in the context of the state wants to form a state bank, but they failed with the one they have. The Land Bank has been downgraded by international rating agencies. So the banking sector is not covered in successful and glorious examples. Right? How are you going to be different?
In our financial projections, we have received a model from National Treasury, which they provide to all cooperative banks that are looking to register. And they also even link us up with the existing cooperative banks who share their ideas as to how they're generating profits and make sure that they stay afloat and make profits for their members. So the financial projections is quite involved. It's a numbers game. So when we look at the financial projection for the first year, for example, we will most likely not even make profit. So we will just be managing as a startup. making sure that the premises are there with lean staff and whatever tasks and services are being offered. It is only according to the projections in the second or third year where we're going to see things turn around.
Yeah.
So the model is such that we're going to rely on members' deposits. One of the things that we have started doing is to promote the culture of saving.
Yeah.
So besides the share that the members pay to become members of the bank, on a monthly basis we encourage them to save money. And those savings we're going to use to provide, things like student loans and whatever loans that we'll be offering at that particular point in time. In terms of the services that the bank is going to offer, the feasibility study showed that the highest demand is business loans. The business people in Midrand are crying
for small businesses, yes.
And then second to that, it is home loans. And then after that, you have your personal loans and your student loans and things like that. So when we open doors, we're not going to open with all services altogether. We have a technical advisor who has assisted SACO to register to get the license. He was involved with Nahau as well. He's been there with cooperatives. He's got cooperatives experience. He works for government, but he's helping us as a civic duty. So we are working with him, and Larry Papa, you'll say, just wait. So we're going to start with things like savings, check account, investment accounts, different types of investment accounts, and then we're going to move on to the other products.
In terms of your projections, how big would be your loan book or even turnover as a starting point? Because you're talking about breaking even, and what it means that you could, a sense in your head, how big this loan book is going to be if what you have identified is that there is a gap in the market for how small businesses get funded and so on. What are you looking at? Because somebody may be watching and wanting to invest. Must they bring R1 billion? Must they bring what to get you going? Or what? See, R1 billion are flying around.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember the numbers because there's a lot of numbers on that financial projection, and I'm not an accountant. Accountants are the ones who will give you numbers just like this. But the numbers are not, exorbitant. They are manageable, very conservative figures that we are comfortable with. And these are not final. When we submit to the Reserve Bank have to approve the figures. And they will also guide us to say, here you are being too ambitious. So we are currently, taking this process inch by inch and not try to be this big, cooperative bank that we are not even, because we don't even have a license as we speak. We are still the proposed Midrand cooperative bank. Hence, we must always use proposed to not mislead the community to think that
the
we
bank
already have a bank.
Exists.
But
you are registered members already, or not? If you open that,
we have opened a club account where the members are paying in their shares.
Into another bank?
Into another bank. We can't open, according to the Cooperative Banks Act, we are not allowed to open an account at another cooperative, which is what we wanted.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
You have to open at a commercial bank.
So for now, we are opening at one of the commercial banks.
But aren't they partnering you? They're the ones who must partner you to open this cooperative bank. If you approach them.
But why would they do that?
But you won't be competing with them. You said to me you are not even there for competition. Is not that the story you are selling?
But that's what they will see. They will see us as competition. I mean, I'm an ex-banker. I know how bankers think. They definitely will not do that.
Yeah. What is the gap you're seeing in the banking situation right now? I mean, and I'm sure this was part of starting something new, that you found some frustrations about how the banking sector works. Are they keen, to transform? Let's start there. Right? Are they keen to transcend just the usual, right? Instead of going beyond that to look, for example, at smaller businesses who may be into some survivalist mode, or who may be startups that are risky to fund and so on. Why is it that there's always this narrative that says, IDC must try and behave not like the banks. DPSA must not behave like the banks. And the banks getting a message that maybe they need to behave differently?
I think they will.
They will get the message.
They will get the message.
So at the moment they are not.
No, I don't think they are, because they're still generating profits at the current status quo. So I don't think. But, not to defend the mainstream banks. I'm from banking.
Yeah.
And there are many reasons why banks will have so many stringent rules and regulations. Is because many times they would have burnt their fingers. And every time they burn their finger, they make the process tight. However, the barriers in your
mainstream their fingers what? By people not paying back their loans?
Many reasons, many ways. I mean,
but loaning is a risky business, man. If you loan anybody money, you must factor in the fact that they may not pay it back.
And the thing is, they don't know who these people are. If you go and knock at one of the banks and say, I want a loan, and you don't
own anything.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know who you are. They don't know if you are operating a small business. They have not been to the township to see what kind of business you operate.
But there are black people working for these banks, man, who are in high positions. I mean, every one of these banks, they got, and those people, I know many of them are not token people. They are accomplished leaders in banking sector. You look around, you see them. I mean, the Nasanas of this world. He was head of FNB. The guy at Standard Bank, Sim Chavalal, is an accomplished banker. Mkutlu at Netbank. With those people there, are you telling me that banks still come there and come in and tell you, says, I don't know how a township looks like?
Those people don't make credit decisions. At the credit committees where decisions have been made as to whether...
Are you saying they're tokens?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying they are not in credit committees.
They're not supposed to be in credit committees. They must just set the criteria so that people don't go there and look down on you because you are budding entrepreneurs in Midrand. Then they'll say, hey, what is Midrand? I have lots of flats there. These people don't own anything. And then they dismiss you.
Yeah. Look, unfortunately, JJ, currently people are still crying. Whatever is happening inside those mainstream banks, what is happening on the ground is real. The people are still crying. They don't have access to finance. And that is what we need to address.
Yeah. In terms of the current situation, as we round off the conversation, how do you think banks must respond? If you look around the world, banks are coming to their party. They are doing drastic things like, freeze bonds and mortgages, as they call it, freeze loans, etc., freeze credit cards, payments, etc. Do you think that our banking industry can be that bold?
I don't know, but I think maybe they can do a little bit more before they decline someone's application. Maybe they need to go an extra mile to go and understand that person's business, understand the model, and also assist them and provide them with whatever support that SME require to get them to the point where they will be able to repay the loan, because the issue is repayment. So the likes of the IDC, what I understand what they do is when they give you funding, they also give you support, non-financial support, expertise support, to make sure that you will turn your business around and be able to pay them. And I think that is what the banks are currently lacking.
You don't think they will come out of their meeting now? I'm told their meeting, we are supposed to have Kas Kovadia here, who's the head of the Banking Association, and the president, announced yesterday that the competition laws that disallow them to collude have been lifted. It was his way of giving them a clue that they must do something together to come in the gap. Your analysis that they want?
I don't know. I was in banking for 17 years. I still have a lot of people that I know who are still in banking, and I have not received such a signal. So I honestly don't know, and I don't want to make assumptions. I see where you're trying to get me, and I'm not going there.
Listen, we wish you well, man. You don't think because of the absence, I mean, there are not many cooperative banks. That's why, and I found this story fascinating, that there are a group of people who want to go for it. So don't you think that it's limiting to say mid-rand? I mean, what's the difference between mid-rand and four ways?
We had to start somewhere, and the idea was born in Midrand. We belong to a business forum in Midrand called the Midrand Local Economic Empowerment, which has over 200 businesses. And whenever there's meetings, the cries of the people is is the financial part.
Yeah.
And the solution was that let's open a bank.
But you have just gone to the Minister of Small Business, man.
So I think for now it's Midrand.
Yeah.
We will look at expanding once we're established, but we have to start. You see, the challenge with us is starting. So let's start, even if you start small.
Have you approached the Minister of Small Business?
Huh?
Have you approached the Minister of Small Business at all?
Not
to
us.
Help?
No, not as
Why
yet.
not?
Not as yet. I think that is going to happen as we go along.
I'm sure they'll be excited to be part of funding and giving back to the bank. Yes.
No, when we get to stage 3 where we go and now seek financial support, I think that's one of the institutions that will go and
absolutely.
And
I hope the minister is watching.
Minister Ma?
And Minister Tabane of Small Business. To maybe she can pay for your license, that 100,000, because they have a 1 billion fund that they are sitting in. And in fact, the application opened yesterday. So I suggest you approach them sooner rather than later. But all the best, Boitumelo.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
We will watch with interest. Once you got the license, please come back. Don't come back before then. Come after you have a license, then we can talk to you about where are your premises, what are the criteria for loans, and all of that stuff. Thank you so much for your time tonight. All right. Boitumelo Kgomo, leading a team of people who are fed up with it all, and they now want to form their own cooperative bank. And if you live in Midrand, there's your challenge to do something for yourselves and pull up your own bootstraps, so to speak. Let's take a break now.